Beautiful people, welcome back to my channel, Be Nicole Inspiring Souls. This channel is full of inspiration mixed in with snippets of my truth. So I hope that with each video, one, it shows a little bit more of me, like who I really am, and my personality, and just how I've been able to maneuver through some of the speed bumps that have presented themselves and popped up in my way. Also, that it will inspire someone to not allow the stumbling blocks that they face to hold them back. So, welcome back. I am currently doing a series right now. I'm in the career highs and lows, and this is going to be part 2. Hopefully, you've already caught part 1. If you haven't, you can go back and check out part 1 of the career highs and lows. I basically talk about, pretty much done an introduction to how I started working in the field of higher ed. Hopefully you'll see how not just something that I just wanted and for myself, or even had a desire to continue, but literally the Lord just kept setting up opportunities for me and kept leading and guiding me and opening doors for me in this field. Because I'll share how there were times where I wanted to get out, but I don't want to spoil any of the videos. So part 2 of the career highs and lows. So if you watch part 1, then I leave off talking about how the apartment that I was staying in kept reaching out about my roommate and I renewing the lease. And my roommate had plans. I, on the other hand, did not have any plans. And so, also, I didn't mention that I'm not home. I'm currently in Memphis, Tennessee for a work conference. By the time that this video posts, I will already have made it back home. So, yeah, so back to the story. So my roommate had plans and I did not have plans, but nothing just gave me this urgency that I needed to renew the lease. I just felt like even if, someone else, gets this apartment, something else will just pop up for me. So I wasn't concerned, and it's crazy looking back on it because I definitely should have been. Earlier that year, the word had gotten to me that there may be an opportunity for me to go back and work at my alma mater, the University of North Alabama. And I thought it was so sweet of the people who were reaching out and sharing that information with me. But little did they know I had no desire to move back to Florence. I had only been in Jacksonville for 8 months. Or I was only there for a total of 8 months. But at the time that I hear this, I've only been there roughly like 4 months. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not really looking, to move back home. And I knew, like I said in the first video, that Jacksonville was not going to be my forever home. I knew that it was simply an opportunity for me to grow professionally. And I, was so grateful for the opportunity to do so there. But I knew that there was going to be an opportunity to present itself at a later time for me to venture off and continue on this journey to grow, professionally. So, literally get the call. I'm getting these notifications from multiple people, so not just, one individual. Finally, there is an actual job posting, and it is for a recruiter position working for my alma mater. So I thought, man, maybe if I had waited a year, I could have just worked at UNA. I'm not interested in moving back home. I recognize that, me being away from home was such a leap of faith. I didn't know it at the time, but it was such a leap of faith, and it was a necessary move for me to even be exposed to what the real world looked like and what it was going to consist of for me to thrive in that world. So yeah, people are reaching out. Finally there's a job posting, and I see the job posting. People are of course sending me the link, telling me about it, and again I'm telling them thank you so much. Really grateful that you thought of me, but I have no interest in moving back home. It was no desire of mine, and even though it's crazy because your girl was broke, so it should have definitely been something that I at least considered, but I was not interested. I knew for a fact that it wasn't time for me to go back home. I didn't think that home was where I needed to be in that season of my life. So I ended up, there were like so many people reaching out that I ended up going ahead and applying for the position, but not because I really wanted the position. I applied for the position just so when people let me know, like, hey, I'm like, yeah, I already submitted an application, we'll just see what happens. But again, I have no desire, and not because I didn't want the role, or not because I didn't want to work for my alma mater. It was just simply because the position was based in Florence. I applied, and I don't hear anything for what seemed like months. I feel like it was like months, like 2 months, could have almost hidden 3 month mark. And I'm like not concerned, not bothered, because again, I had no desire to move to Florence. So I'm like, even if they offered me the role, I would be feeling some type of way. I would be conflicted, and if I needed to stay where I was or take another leap of faith and just see what moving back home would do for me. And randomly, I get an email that says like, congratulations, you have won a prize. And I'm kind of confused because it's coming from the University of North Alabama, but I didn't enter a giveaway. So I was like, this is odd. But it seemed like a really legit email. And so, of course, I reach out. They're like, hi, we are, hope all is well. We are currently doing interviews for the admissions recruiter position, and we, wanted to offer you an interview, but we've had a really hard time getting in contact with you. So crazy, because when jobs, like if you apply for a job, or maybe you don't do this, maybe it's just me, but typically if I apply for a job, the next thing that I'm going to do is like look up an office number, and I'm going to plug that number in my phone, because I don't answer unknown numbers. So the number's not saved. If it's important, they'll leave a voicemail, and then I'll be able to check the voicemail to see if I need to return the call. But I just don't answer unknown calls. And because I wasn't really making a lot of money, all of these bill collectors, were calling me, and so I felt like half the time it was like a bill collector reminding me that I had XYZ amount of time to pay on XYZ bill. And that can be somewhat discouraging, especially if you want to pay on it and just simply don't have the extra funds to do so. And so that was the case because, again, I'm in this season of transition and growth and learning how to maneuver, and I now have a real big girl job, but with that big girl job came some big girl responsibilities that I honestly was not prepared for at all. So I'm like, okay, so when are interviews? They're like, this week. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? So they're like, yeah, we really want to wrap up interviews. So this is like the first week of July. So this is the first week of July going into July 4th. So they pretty much wanted all of the candidates who have already interviewed, and there was no phone interview. They call, and literally they want me to come the next day. The issue that I have, and I go ahead and book the interview. And again, y'all, I don't even know why I'm going through with this, because remember, I have no desire to move to Florence. So I'm really not sure what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. So I called my grandmother, because my grandmother was like my voice of reason when I was going through this really tough season. I could just call her and really like vent, just get it all out. Whereas my mom is just kind of gonna give it to you how she sees it. And sometimes I need that. Most of the time, I don't. So I called my grandmother. I'm like, oh my goodness, Granny, the university, they said they've been trying to call me, couldn't get me, but they want to do like the interview tomorrow. Then I was like, so what's the issue? And I was like, well, the issue is that I have to put in a 72-hour notice to my job if I want to be off, which is a decent amount of time if you need to like request off. 72 hours has not been an issue before, but now it's an issue. So I'm like telling her, and I'm like, I just don't know. Like, I don't feel like I can go back there and say, oh, by the way, I'm applying for another job because I technically just got this job, you know? And my grandmother gets really silent, and she was like, you know, you sound sick to me. I'm gonna let you go so that you can rest up for tomorrow. Bye. And I'm like, awkward, because I'm not sick. I feel fine. I was like, is my grandmother okay? But y'all, Granny, and it's funny because my granny does not remember saying that, but y'all, I was so naive, I would not have known to do this. So I called in sick. Like, I literally set an alarm that morning, early that morning, call in sick, and then drive, call in sick, and then I drive to Florence for the interview. I wear this just simple black dress, and I remember stopping by my grandmother's before the interview just to kind of get that voice of reason, to kind of calm my nerves, because from Jacksonville to Florence is a 3-hour drive. And y'all, my grandmother, I walk in, and my grandmother says, of all the dresses you had, that's the one you went with? And I was like, what's wrong with it? I'm like, I didn't have to bring a backup dress. I'm like, is it gonna work? She's like, well, it's gonna have to, I guess. So I'm like, alright, Mom. That was a mom statement, not my grandmother's statement, typically. So I go do the interview. I feel really good about the interview. I was familiar with most of the people on the panel, but also I knew that didn't really make a difference because they were going to hire who they felt like was the best candidate for the position. And I did not know of anyone applying or who had received an interview, so I'm pretty much going into this thing blind. And remember, I'm doing all of this with no desire to move back home. I don't even know how I was coaching myself and why I was going through so many hoops, you know, to get to this interview with no desire to move back home. Knowing that the position is based in Florence, knowing that, and still moving forward. Who knows what I was telling myself. So I, do the interview, felt really good about the interview, and I don't get to just linger around in the area. I have to drive back home because I have to be at work the next day. I know what it was. So the 4th of July was on a Saturday, but some of the candidates on the panel were going to take off that Friday. That's what it was. And so they called on a Wednesday. I went and did my interview on Thursday, and then I had to get back to work that Friday. And I had never, ever called in sick, so I was being very cautious as a driver, And that was the first and last time of me ever doing that because it just gave me too much anxiety. But honestly speaking, I don't know what else I would have done other than tell the truth. But I just thought, how unprofessional would it be for me to go in there and say, hi, I know I've only been here 6 months, but I'm actually going to an interview. Can I have tomorrow off? Yeah, probably wouldn't work. So, anyways, do that, and I don't hear anything the next week. And the second week comes, and I still don't hear anything. I think that it had to have been closer to like the 3-week mark. So it had to have been either the very end of week 2 or the beginning of week 3 from the interview. I get a call, and it was weird because this time the call came through and it was a number that I did not have saved, so I have no clue what number they were calling for the interview. But the call comes through, I answer, and she's like, hi, how are you? Hope that all is well. I always find that to be so funny because I'm like, look, can you just tell me if it's a yay or a nay? And like, we can talk about our day and our week and, you know, how life is going after you tell me, you know, I'll just be able to breathe a little bit better. So I'm like, yeah, everything's going well. And she was like, well, you know, we're, you know, processing some things on this end, and we just got notice from the president of the university that we can actually hire 2 people from the interviews. And I was like, oh wow. She's like, yeah, so we're gonna have, you know, 1 recruiter for the Florence position. And I was like, okay, that's great. She starts telling me what territories are gonna cover. I'm like, man, thank you for the very detailed information, but can you help me understand how all of this applies to me, please? She's like, and then we also just got approval to hire a regional recruiter based in Huntsville. You know, the panel met, just wondering, you ever thought about living in Huntsville? So on the phone, I'm like, no. But low key, I'm like, okay, let me back it up. You mean to tell me this position that people kept at me about, I applied for it, not wanting it because it's based in Florence. But I go interview anyways. And when I interview, I'm interviewing for a position based in Florence. Can you mean to tell me that somehow the Lord worked that thing out for me, for my good, and created a position for me to recruit in Huntsville? Mind blowing. Mind blown. Just, even when I think about it now, I'm just like, and it was crazy because in Jacksonville, like, it was to the point where I would just pray, Lord, I just pray that wherever it is that you desire to take me next, that I'll be able to grow professionally, spiritually. Like, I just want to become a better version of myself, and I know that wherever you take me next, I'm going to be surrounded just by accountability and granted space and opportunities to do all of the above. So I'm on the phone, I'm kind of just like in shock, and I'm like, yes, you know, it would definitely depend on the salary, because I just knew, I hadn't done any research, because Huntsville was not on my radar, but I just knew that the cost of living in Huntsville was expensive, and you needed some coins to be able to just live. So she's like, yeah, we're working on all that right now. I hate that I don't have all the information right now, but we literally just got this approval. Now, just to give a little context, the president of the university had just started that year in like the month of March. So when he was looking at the, numbers and enrollment and, the recruiting efforts from the admissions office, he deemed it necessary and felt like it was going to be beneficial to place a recruiter in Huntsville, to live in Huntsville, and to devote all of their recruiting efforts, time, skill set to the Huntsville area. And this person was not just going to recruit in Huntsville. So there was going to be some surrounding territory. So like Blount County, Etowah, DeKalb, Jackson, Marshall County, Limestone County. So there were, tons of schools. And so you wouldn't be bored. And a regional recruiter, it was crazy because I had done some research on just recruiting. And I remember in my interview mentioning that the long-term goal, so when you talk about like 5-year goal, which I felt like I needed more experience to really be an effective regional recruiter, the long-term goal, so what I told them is that I would love to be a regional recruiter where you live in an area and that be your area, because I had literally done the recruiting, having to drive long distances and pretty much live in a hotel. I was living in a hotel Monday through Thursday during travel season, and then Friday I would make my office day, so it's where I would pretty much plan out for the next week. I would also restock up on materials that I needed, and then I would also turn in my travel so I could collect a check. Okay. So I had done that part. I loved it. I really did. But there were times where I was like, man, I wonder how much more effective I would be if I lived closer, because, being a regional student can call and say, hey, I'm having issues, and you can just pop up. So I am just like still forward, and nothing's concrete. So that was the thing. So it's like I've been given this offer, but we don't have anything finalized. So I literally have nothing to go off of, and I'm not putting in a notice because I kind of have a job offer, kind of don't. Okay, so basically, calls back, and the boss gives me a salary offer, and I accept because it is drastically larger than what I'm currently making. And I'm like, this is it. Finally. So I'm like over the 30,000 part. So feeling excited, I accept, and I go put in my notice that day. Like, turned in my notice that day, and the job, let me just say it, Jacksonville State, they were so sweet. They were like happy for me. They were celebrating with me. They were giving words of encouragement. They even threw me a going away party. And I know some of y'all are like, well, all departments do that when you leave, all jobs. No, they do not. No, they don't. They don't. So they brought gifts, and they like ordered food and brought gifts, and I was just like, man, I hope like every other opportunity that I have, I'm surrounded by people like this who want to see you, operate with purpose and want to see you grow and to advance. So I was very grateful for my time at Jacksonville State, and really could not believe it was up. Like, I had worked so hard. You think I would have been spending all night in there doing all this research, trying to learn the stats and the numbers if I knew I was going to be gone? I was there a total of 8 months. mind blowing, but I didn't know. So here we are, gotten this job offer. I'm excited. At this point, maybe the technology wasn't there yet, but they weren't, faxing you or emailing you your contract. You had to go to campus to sign it. So I let them know I will come to campus, next week, because I'm gonna move out this week. So literally, I'm like hustling. I get everything moved out, like sold. So it was a good thing, y'all, that I did not renew my lease. And again, y'all, yes, I was like reading scripture, but I wasn't like really digging in scripture. I wasn't seeking the Lord about plans, but I strongly feel like the Lord was like watching over me throughout the process, because had I renewed my lease, I would have then owed them some money, and it would have just complicated the whole process. But I was able to just sign out and go. So now I'm moving. I'm so excited. I get to Florence, and they were, so this is now the end of July. I'm supposed to start my job. So the last week of July, I basically take off, and I'm supposed to start my job at UNA on like August 3rd. It's the first full week in August, and I was gonna be there for the month of August to do some training, get some materials. I didn't have a place to stay yet. So a lot of things that I still had to get put into place before I could make the move to Huntsville. So here we are. I'm excited. If you've ever been to UNA, there is a beautiful walkway that leads to the fountain, and the building that I was going to is behind the fountain. And so you should have saw me. I'm just skipping and tweedly down this brickway, walking into the office, smiling probably from ear to ear, just really excited, because I can't believe I've been afforded the opportunity to come back and recruit students to the place that helped me grow as a leader so much. I walk in, I sit down, the lady brings in the contract, and she's like, you can just read this over, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be out here at the front. So anytime that you're given a contract to sign, anything, whether it's for an apartment, a house, whatever, you probably need to review it. And then if you see something that you're not sure about, always ask questions. Now remember, I've already received a verbal offer over the phone, and I accept the job contingent upon that salary. I sit down. Within the first 2 sentences, I see the salary being offered, and it is not the salary that I was offered over the phone. And because this video has already reached the 30-minute mark, I'm actually going to end part 2 here. If you want to know what happens next, you'll have to come back and watch part 3. I hope that you all have a blessed week, and that you're enjoying the content that I'm sharing as much as I am simply enjoying putting it out there. And don't forget, hashtag be inspired today. Share this video with a friend who you think it may encourage, who may too have experienced something similar, or have experienced just a few bumps in the road when it came to their job or career search. But I'll see you all in my next video.